Hi, this is CiscoPacketTracerd4-532 in Cisco Academy. We're in book 4, and the objective of this packet tracer is to observe dynamic routing, and we're going to observe the network behavior using static and default routing only to compare it to the behavior of dynamic routing. So a little bit of background. In this exercise, we'll observe that the adaptability of dynamic routing compared to the static and default routing. A ticket sales office network is currently configured using static and default routing. So this is the ticket sales office here. So it's currently configured to use static default routing. So the first thing the packet tracer wants us to do is test connectivity using static and default routing. So we're going to open up the command prompt at PC0, which is here. And then we're going to use traceroute to the edge 1 fast Ethernet 00 address. So this is edge 1 fast Ethernet 00 is what I should have said, I guess. 172.18.20.5. So let's go to the command prompt, and we are going to do a trace route. So we'll issue that command, and was 172.18.20.5. So 3 hops later is completed, and we can see it went to the 16.1, the 18.0.6, 18.20.5, and it reached the edge 1 fast Ethernet 00 interface. Okay, so the next thing it wants us to do is bring down the frame relay network and observe routing. Okay, so on the BR2 router, we're going to shut down the link to the frame relay network. Okay, so let's get in here, and we can just do first of all enable, and we'll just do a show run to find out which interface we need to bring down. And it's going to be this interface right here, because it's got encapsulation frame relay. So we want to bring down that interface. So in order to do that, we're going to need to go into your terminal, and then go into interface serial 0/1/0. Okay, and then we're just going to do a shutdown. We'll shut this interface down. Okay, so it's changed to down, and then I always like to check, but we can do a show run again. Okay, so now that we know that it's shut down, and we can close out of that. So the next thing is we're going to perform a trace route from PC0 again to the edge 1. So let me go back in here, and we can do our trace route again. Okay, so we can see it's having some problems. Trace complete after 30 hops. 20.5. So it didn't ever reach that, because we know that this one was successful, because that was the network we were tracing. So as you can see, after 30 hops, it just quit and gave up. So I guess that we successfully took down that link and the frame relay. So the next thing we want to do is configure dynamic routing and observe the routing. So we're going to configure EIGRP on BR2 and ISP2. be sure to include the directly connected networks. And so we'll go in here to VR2, and we need to configure IGRP. So we need to go to configure terminal, and then we'll type in router EIGRP, and that's going to be autonomous system 10. And then we need to define a couple networks, and that's going to be 172.18.16.0, 0.0.0.255, and then the other network is going to be 18.0.4, and that's 0.0.0.3. Okay, so can X out of this, and just like to do write to the memory. We can close out of that one, and then we need to do the same thing for ISP2. So let's get in here and go to command line, do an enable, go to configure terminal, and do a router EIGRP, and then the networks we need over here are 172.18.16.0 and 0.0.0.255. Oh, we have to type network, of course. Okay, so I like that a little bit better. I'm going to change that. Okay, so we need another network in here on the 18.0 network, and then 8, so 0.0.0.3. That's the wild card. Let's see that that worked. Exit here, exit here. I always like to write to memory. Okay, so we can exit out of that. The next part we need to do is we need to do a third trace route from PC0 to Edge 1. So let's go back here to PC0, go back to our command prompt, and we're going to do our trace route over here to Edge 1. And this time you can see that it was successful. It successfully made it over to the Edge 1, but the routing has changed. You can see it went to 16.1 and then 18.0.6. This one went to 16.1, 16.2, and then 18.0.9, and then finally reached the Edge 1. So that is the behavior difference between static and default routing to dynamic routing. So this trace route was the dynamic routing. And as you can see, it provides the same result, at just different directions. So that will conclude this activity. Let me check my results. Okay, so the auto summary is incorrect. So let me go back here. Okay, so we need to go in and shut off the auto summary. So let me go into VR2 right quick and get back to our EIGRP, and we just need to do a no auto summary, Okay, so that shut that off. We can do an exit. Okay, so now we just need to do the same for the ISP router, of course, and then we'll and do the no auto summary here. Okay, so I'm sure it's gonna like that a lot better. Okay, so I've saved those to memory, and now when I check my results, okay, so we've completed that. We got the no auto summary turned off. So this activity is complete, and we just observed the differences between the dynamic routing and the static default routing. So CiscoPacketTracerd4-534 in the Cisco Network Academy Book 4.